Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining this online orientation on NAIA Program Recognition Guidelines. This session will be focusing on the DepEd professional development priorities for teachers and school leaders for 2020 to 2023. The objective of this presentation is to explain to you the significance of the PD priorities in the development of a more integrated and programmatic professional development programs for teachers and school leaders to support the realization of the Department of Education's goal of continuous upskilling and reskilling of teachers and school leaders that will result in better learning outcomes. To understand this better, we will look into the following. First, the context, where we will get to know the relevant DepEd issuances and various NAIAP initiatives that brought about the development of the PD priorities. Second, the content and considerations, which will help us answer the questions like what is the purpose of the PD priorities? What do we need to look for and consider in the program design and delivery? And how do we intend to implement the programs that will be more complementing rather than competing with the various offices in DepEd across governance levels? And lastly, we will look into the PD priorities as they are mapped in the professional standards for teachers, school heads, and supervisors. To get us started, let us look at the context. In 2019, DepEd Order Number 11, otherwise known as the Implementation of the NAIAP Transformation, was released. It is here that program transformation was included as part of the transformation of NAIAP. Program transformation here refers to the development of an integrated professional development program in the department. Likewise, it was also in this DepEd order that the inclusion and prioritization of programs for professional development was first mentioned. This became the basis for DepEd Order Number 1, Series of 2020, or the guidelines for the NAIAP recognition of professional development programs and courses for teachers and school leaders. In these guidelines, we can find the provisions for the PD priorities in Section 6, number 16 to 18. In a nutshell, these provisions emphasized what should be done to come up with the said PD priorities, namely, for the various offices in the department across governance levels to agree on a periodic 3-year PD priorities. Next, that the identified data sources in the said DepEd order be used in determining the PD priorities and match the results with the domains, strands, and indicators of the professional standards for teachers, school heads, and supervisors. In view of this, the National Educators Academy of the Philippines conducted various consultations and needs assessment activities such as program mapping, where an inventory of programs across governance levels was done to check how many programs for teachers do we have in DepEd that are aligned to the requirements of the professional standards for teachers or the PPST. We also did some documents review on various assessment results, such as the National Achievement Test or NOT, and Program for International Students Assessment or PISA, among others. We also reviewed the compilation of various case studies on teachers' professional development in Asia to determine what constitutes an effective practice on teachers' professional development. NAIAP also did some key informants interview and draw out from various pronouncements made by the Secretary and other DepEd officials to get the latest about the strategic directions of the department. I'm glad to inform you that the results of these initiatives were validated through various focus group discussions with partner experts. Now, to better understand the significance of the PD priorities in the entire professional development goals of DepEd, let us refer to the NAIA professional development process flow. The PD priorities here can be seen, which is encircled in red, is the starting point of the PD process. This means that before developing any PD program, all authorized learning service providers or LSPs will have to refer to the list of PD priorities and base their program objectives there before actually moving to develop the program. When they are done with the program development, they need to submit it for program evaluation for recognition purposes. Authorized LSPs can only conduct their programs or courses after getting their programs recognized by NAEP. Monitoring and evaluation with data capture is ensured in every step of the way. The goal of all of this is to improve teacher and school leader quality consistent with the objectives of Sulong Edukalidad, the upskilling and reskilling of teachers and school leaders nationwide, which is actually NAEP's mandate. The improvement here of teacher and school leader quality has a two-pronged outcomes. First, for career progression, and second, for better learning outcomes of the students. Now, let us ready ourselves and delve on the content and considerations to understand the purpose of PD priorities further. We can best understand the objectives of the PD priorities in the context of the career progression in DepEd. On the one hand, career progression means the enhancement of proficiency level within and across career stages, and on the other hand, it means career advancement through job promotion. So, for teachers who will actually attend a recognized PD program of NAEP, that teacher will actually get these two benefits together. How is this possible? Well, programs recognized by NAEP comes with the corresponding PD credit units, providing their participants not only the chance of improving their proficiency levels, but also the competitive advantage when they apply for their job promotion compared to those who only went to trainings that are not recognized by NAEP. When PD programs are framed on the PD priorities, the chances of getting the programs recognized increase. Hence, authorized learning service providers should take the PD priorities as a guide to develop their proposals not only to be responsive to the needs of the department, but also to facilitate getting their programs recognized. However, you might be wondering if there are chances that other programs that are developed not based on the PD priorities are also provided with the chance to be recognized by NAEP. Here, we will have to look into a certain flexibility provided in DepEd Order number 1, Section 6, that's number 18, now when it says that there is this flexibility provided for the authorized LSPs to actually submit proposals that are not under the list of PD priorities as long as its urgency or importance is established in the application. Usually, this is done through a rigorous needs assessment by the authorized LSPs on their target learners. Likewise, it is also noteworthy to mention that the programs and courses directly supporting the effective operationalization of the DepEd's Learning Continuity Plan in light of COVID-19 shall also be given priority, but only for school year 2020 to 2021. At this point, let me share with you a very important information, and that is what NAEP would like to see in the program design and delivery that you must consider in your program evaluation task. These are number one, observance of human-centered design for a more needs-based approach to learning intervention. Number two, that programs should have a multi-model delivery component with emphasis on teaching embedded and or workplace-based learning. Number three, that the program should incorporate in its design teacher agency or self-directed learning to allow for teachers and school leaders to manage their own professional development. Number four, the ecosystem approach, where there is the presence of collaboration among the internal and external stakeholders to support teachers and school leaders in attaining their learning outcomes. And number five, equitable targeting to ensure access of PD programs and courses by teachers and school leaders nationwide. Knowing all this, it is safe to say now that DepEd has a mechanism to come up with a more integrated, programmatic, and strategic programs and courses pursuant to the directive of DepEd Order Number 11, Series of 2019, or better known as the implementation of the NAEP transformation. These mechanisms include the 3-year DepEd PD priorities, which we are now talking about, and then we also have to recognize the field-initiated PD needs assessment, and then lastly, the recognition guidelines as stipulated in our DepEd Order Number 1, Series of 2020. Aside from those mechanisms, it is also important for us to see the effectiveness of the implementation of all recognized PD programs and courses is facilitated by a clear delineation of roles and responsibilities of all key players across governance levels. This will also pave the way to promote a more collaborative and collegial PD practice in the department. Now we are ready to take a look at the PD priorities and how they are mapped in the professional standards, domains, strands, and indicators for teachers, school heads, and supervisors. For teachers, there are 22 PD priorities mapped in the 7 domains of the PPST. For school heads, 21 identified PD priorities are distributed in the 5 domains of the standard. More are obviously located in Domain 3, followed by Domain 2, which for me points to the need to firm up the role of school heads as instructional leaders. For supervisors, there are 12 PD priorities, also distributed in 4 domains of their professional standards. The list of PD priorities for teachers, school heads, and supervisors can be found as enclosure to the DepEd Memo number 50, series of 2020, bearing the same title. They are presented in tables 1 for teachers, 2 for school heads, and 3 for supervisors. For a closer look, let's take the first table, the PD priorities for teachers. As you can see, the parts of the PPST are complete, the domains and the strands on the left-hand corner, while the career stages are listed horizontally. Only, instead of seeing the 4 career stages, as we know them, here they are termed moving to proficient teacher, moving to highly proficient teacher, and moving to distinguished teacher. Stating it in this manner denotes the process of consolidating the practice of teachers in their career stages. Notice also that an arrow is placed under the career stages. This is to signify the level of gradation or progression in the PD priorities consistent with the career stages. In some strands, a special topic may also be listed that actually cuts across the career stages. In this slide, for instance, the special topic is financial literacy education, which is underlined in blue. Special topics like this means that all teachers or school leaders, regardless of their career stage, can take and or be provided with a program or course on the topic. The special topic can also be treated as a foundation or a specialized concept that will be useful for teachers and school leaders regardless of their career stage. Now look at Table 2 for school heads, also presented in the same way as the teachers, as well as the PD priorities for supervisors in Table 3. And lastly, to get a copy of all the lists of PD priorities for teachers, for school heads, and supervisors, you may refer to DepEd Memo number 50, Series of 2020 on the PD priorities for teachers and school leaders from this year to 2023. I'm very happy that all of this are already in place, and it's actually very um, important for us in NEA because it seems that we can now say that we have the concrete evidence that DepEd, through our Bureau, NEA, is moving closer towards a more integrated, programmatic, and strategic professional development programs for teachers and school leaders. This has been a great pleasure to explain to you this very important topic. In case you still have some inquiries on the matter, though, you may reach us at asknaap@deped.gov.ph or at my personal email account. Thank you very much, and let us continue to advance the professional development practice in the department for our teachers and school leaders. Have a nice day.